the house that peace forgot. They said the hardest part of escaping domestic abuse was leaving. But no one tells you what it's like to finally claw your way out of the shadows, only to find yourself trapped again, this time by noise, barking, and a system that refuses to hear you. I had found what I thought was peace, a small, modest house on the edge of town, near a line of trees that fluttered like green ribbons in the spring wind. The house was nothing grand, a place to rebuild, to breathe. For the first time in years, I slept without fear. Or I thought I would. It began with the barking. A dog, then two. Then more. I couldn't tell how many. Their angry, unrelenting cries started at dawn and spiraled into madness as the day wore on. They lived next door, behind a low fence and an overgrown hedge. Their owner, a middle-aged woman with a permanently lit cigarette, seemed to thrive in the chaos. Sometimes she screamed at the dogs. Sometimes at no one at all. I tried earplugs, white noise machines. I played meditation music and stuffed towels under my door. Nothing worked. The barking burrowed into my thoughts, shredded my sleep, turned peace into paranoia. I started recording the relentless barking, hours of it echoing through the walls like a never-ending alarm clock. My parents took the evidence to animal control, and it worked. Now, every time someone reports the noise, the neighbors get slapped with an $800 fine. You'd think that would be enough to bring the dogs indoors. Nope. Their brilliant solution? Shock collars. We felt awful for the dogs. But honestly, after being sleep-deprived and on edge for days at a time, we were desperate for any peace at all. And it wasn't just the dogs. Her children screamed late into the night, slamming doors, throwing objects. The walls rattled with every burst of chaos. Strangers came and went, young men on loud scooters, people shouting on their phones. At least once a week, a fight would erupt in the street. The police came a few times, but never for long. Sometimes they didn't come at all. Then came the for sale sign. My plan had always been to stay here a year or two, then sell and move further out, maybe to a quiet village. But as the barking worsened and the disturbances grew, the dream of escape hardened into necessity. I needed to sell the house. I needed out. The estate agent smiled politely, took photos, and listed the property. "It's a good area," he said. "Should go fast." He didn't hear the barking. The first viewers came on a sunny Saturday morning. A young couple with a toddler. They walked the garden, admired the new kitchen I had installed. And then, like a perfect storm, the barking began. One of the dogs threw itself against the fence, frothing and snarling. The toddler screamed. The couple left within minutes. It happened again. And again. Every time someone came to view the house, the dogs erupted. Once, the neighbor even stood on her porch in her dressing gown and shouted at the potential buyers to go somewhere else if they hate dogs. I lowered the asking price. Still, no offers. The agent stopped calling. The listing slipped further down the website pages, outshone by quieter, cleaner, less chaotic homes. My savings dwindled. The stress began to show, under my eyes and my posture, in the migraines that returned like ghosts. I barely slept. Every night was a war of noise. Every morning, I woke with a gasp, clutching my chest as if I drowned in dreams. One evening, I stepped out to check the post and found the neighbor's teenage son urinating against my fence. He laughed when I yelled. His mother yelled back at me. "This isn't your fancy condo," she spat. "This is the real world." I had known cruelty. I had survived it behind closed doors with a man who called his fists love. But this was different. This was public, relentless, and inescapable. I tried talking to her. I tried kindness. Then firmness. I wrote letters. Nothing worked. The barking only got worse. Once, she let the dogs out while I had a viewing scheduled, just to remind folks what real life sounds like. I stopped showing the house. I stopped sleeping in my bedroom. I began sleeping on the bathroom floor, the furthest point from the shared wall. At the edge of exhaustion, I considered abandoning the house entirely. Walking away? Let the bank take it. Let the noise win. But something inside me, something forged in the worst days of my past, rose like a tide. I had not escaped my old life to be destroyed by this one. I had not fought to breathe just to drown in barking. I changed tactics. If I couldn't sell the house now, I would wait. But I would wait with a plan. I contacted soundproofing companies and got quotes. I found a local handyman who installed a tall, solid fence. I planted thick hedges and began working with a therapist again. And I documented everything. Every incident, every noise, every time the dogs leaped at the fence or strangers threw beer cans into my garden. I learned to use my phone like a shield, recording, documenting, gathering. Meanwhile, I found a friend who needed a temporary place to stay. She moved into the house, rent-free, in exchange for helping me keep it clean and tidy for future viewings. I moved into a tiny flat across town, rented under my company's name. Quiet. Clean. Peaceful. From a distance, I could breathe again. I could think. I knew I couldn't win against the noise overnight. But I had time now. I had space. Someday I would find the right buyer. Someone who saw the potential beyond the chaos, or maybe even someone who would buy it as an investment.
Subscribe and hit the notification bell so you don't miss what's coming next. Share it, because some stories are meant to be discovered together. And stay curious. I'll see you in the next chapter.